Well, a warm welcome here to Wellington to the Winter Equestrian Festival. This week it's been a bit chilly so far. We really are putting winter into the title, but we are set to warm things up with hot conversation and a reflection on what was a fiery week of competition last week as well here in Wellington as well. We are here again for reflection, review, news and chat here on WEF Weekly. And welcome to the Winter Equestrian Festival, into the NetJets Week. Week 3, as it's known on our list through. Of course, it is an amazing group of riders that are going to be really stepping it up, and NetJets, our supporting sponsor. NetJets, the worldwide leader in private aviation, offering an in-flight experience that is precisely yours. Every aspect of your imagination is anticipated, and every detail of your journey is artfully curated. All while NetJets prioritizes your safety and comfort. The results, absolute peace of mind and luxury as well. Your moments become even more remarkable as soon as you step aboard. Find your ideal travel solution at netjets.com. Lots to come from them this week, and of course throughout the Winter Equestrian Festival from Dodd Technologies as well, presenting our live streams, an industry leader in creative design and technology support services for sports, entertainment, corporate and special events. Visit them online at doddtechnologies.com. And also, of course, to USEF as well, the supporting sponsor of our live stream, in part with the support of the US Equestrian Federation and USEF Network as well. So thanks to all of those involved, and looking forward to the NetJets weeks. But we're also ahead this week looking back at last week's big successes as well, and it was a wonderful mix. It was a busy week indeed here in Wellington, because we had the big National Grand Prix sponsored by Palm Beach Equine Clinic on the Saturday night, and Sunday saw us into the WeatherTech 3-star Grand Prix as well. Big fiery competition was lighting it up on a big Saturday night too, through the whole of what was a packed week of competition. We're going to talk about a few of those big results as well with our guests this week too. And let's start by reflecting on Saturday night and on the Palm Beach Equine Clinic Grand Prix, that National Grand Prix this time. Great way to get an outing for a number of our riders out into the international arena. And our winner was the young star 17-year-old Tony Stormans. And fantastic result for him with Don John. Got ahead of fellow countryman from Germany, some guy called Christian Kuckuck, and Just Be Gentle. So beating the Olympic champion for the 17-year-old. Fantastic round from him, and paying off for some very good results that he's been having here in Wellington through. He comes from a great horse family as well. Wonderful support from mum and dad. That's a little of what's going to be our theme through today as well. But a really good result for him, and many celebrations, and what will be many more big results for him, no doubt, through. Those are a few of the clears you can see up there of how good a class it was. Here was the final result. Tony Stormans finishing top there with Don John. Christian Kuckuck with Just Be Gentle, the horse he rode into some fantastic 5-star Grand Prix results. Bertram Allen in third with Conquest de Rigo. And look out too for the young team from Great Britain as well, Rachel Proudley and Mancini. Good result for her there. She won the Puissance at London just before Christmas as well, jumped close to 7 foot there, and she got ahead of Olympic British gold medalist Harry Charles and Sherlock, with another young star in there, Max Watchman and Burlock said. So there's lots to look forward to there. $50,000 Grand Prix there. And then on Sunday, we headed to the $140,000 WeatherTech Grand Prix out on the grass. Now, this was a really interesting result, because Richard Fogel was defending his title here with Sidello, and the 2 years previous to this had been won back-to-back by Ben Mayer and Tic Tac. Richard Fogel, last year, it was a big flashy finish with a huge run to the last. This time a different course, set for the big challenge this time around with Olaf Peterson Jr., our course designer here. But no less exciting finish for Richie. Again, part of the world's top 10, and the very exciting Sidello that he sat here last year with us and said, watch out for this one. Tight turn up to the last this time to complete, but the same result as they sat in first place and were our winning combination of that big Grand Prix there as well to start up the season. So lots there to enjoy. Let's take a look at the final result there. He got ahead of Mimi Gotchman and Inclen BH. So again, the young stars were on display. Cian O'Connor, Bentley de Souris finishing in third. Niall Nassar, after that brilliant performance the week before that we talked about with him in the studio here last week. Paso Doble this time for a top 5. Tom Watchman this time. Brother of Max into the top 5 with Tabasco, and Jessica Mendoza. And In the Air, who's going to be talking to us in just a moment's time, was part of our top 6 for that class as well. So super result for them. And time for me to introduce my guests alongside me this week as well. And delighted to say, alongside me, Jessica Mendoza, top group result there into our Grand Prix. Winner of the Grand Prix qualifier last week as well. Leading lady rider last week as well. It wasn't a bad week at the office, Jess.
No, it was a pretty good one. Honestly, I didn't quite expect that much of a good week straight after I was just on holiday, but that horse makes it pretty easy. So it was fantastic, and I'm thrilled with the result.
Excellent. We're going to reflect on that. And one of the youngest to ever grace our studio, 14-year-old JJ Torano, winner of the National Grand Prix qualifier into the jump-off last week. JJ up against 17-year-old Tony Stormans in there. How did you feel about all of that?
Yeah, Grand Prix was exciting. My first Saturday night Grand Prix class. Yeah, for sure it was exciting. I would have hoped for a clear, but it was a good experience.
You've got the taste of it now. A man who's very used to Saturday nights joining us is Dad Jimmy Torano alongside. Jimmy, for you so far this season, it's been a good consistent start with your horses as well.
Yeah, my horses have started out well. Jumped a few clear rounds in the first week here, the Premier week, and then again the first week. Had good results in the WEF and the Grand Prix, so hopefully we'll build on that this week.
You got your eyes on the 5 stars potentially there as well again.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, let's talk about some of the big performances last week, and we're going to start with JJ from your point of view. We're going to take a look at the qualifier for that National Grand Prix in there as well, of which you were the winning rider on what was a huge field from that point of view. But talk to us a little bit about Vitus K as well, because this horse has got some personality.
Yeah, as a lot of people watch him, like in the middle of that line, he bucks almost around the entire course. So I don't know, in the beginning it was a little hard to deal with, but now that I know him, I can kind of feel when it's coming, and I'm ready for it obviously now. We're coming up on a year together, so we know each other pretty well, so I think our partnership's pretty strong. It was
a strong class there from that point of view. Like you say, that makes a big difference. So you started riding him at what, the grand old age of 13?
Yeah. From
that point of view. How much have you enjoyed the last 12 months? Because it's been a big 12 months for you. You won the medal finals as well. You had big success in the equitation, Traverse City, and a long list of wins as well in there.
Yeah.
How has it felt?
Yeah, for sure. In the past year, I've grown a lot in my riding, especially with that horse he brought me up to Grand Prix level, and what I'm going to show in this WEF, hopefully high junior classes, and along with the other horses, my equitation horse that my parents own in partnership with Missy and John. I train with with Northrun and the Northrun team and the equitation, so for sure last year was exciting, and hopefully I look to do similar things again this year.
Fingers crossed, onwards and upwards from that point. We're going to talk about that all in detail in a few minutes' time as well. You went on to the big Saturday night there, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, but did you enjoy getting under the lights before we talk about that in detail?
Yeah, for sure, it was fun. I've done the exhibition classes, I did the Hunter Classic last year, but that was my first real class, so yeah, it was a good experience.
Excellent. We'll come back onto that in a few minutes' time. Jess, from your point of view last week, good result. You won the WEF Challenge Cup. We're going to take a little look at that from that point of view, as we saw top 6 in the Grand Prix. Exciting horse in the Air.
Yes.
Now talk to us a little bit about this one.
She's honestly incredible. I don't think I've ridden a horse quite like her. I got a little bit over a year ago and kind of started off with some 145s. For a second, I thought maybe that was it, but she's just found her scope, and she's so light on her feet, but all she wants to do is jump the jumps clear and gallop as fast as she can, so she really makes my life easy.
You're someone that enjoys a fast round.
Yes.
I mean, I've watched your career right the way through, whether it's ponies up to this stage. you enjoy. So you mesh well.
Yes. What's nice about her is I go into a jump off and I watch everyone else, and I'm like, I think if I do it right, I can do that better, and that's a pretty incredible feeling.
Excellent. Jump off for that WEF Challenge Cup in there. How did you feel about all that?
Great. I think the roll back to the second last, where you can be really tight there, that's where her her cattiness is really helpful, and I know I can whip back and she's going to leave it up clear. And yeah, I mean, all the lines, she was right there with me. The long gallop to that double, I think, I can gallop up there and trust that she's going to get there and still clear it. So it's just a fun horse to be on.
And you've got an exciting string at the moment, ICAP, that you took to the World Cup finals last year as well.
So I have ICAP. I've had him since he was 5 years old, so that's pretty special to me. And then I have her in the air, along with another one called Summer House.
Okay.
And it's called the Mum Club. So all of I have a few clients and all their mums are invested in them, and it's just, they all come to watch, and it's great to have them support me. And, it's kind of what we represent with women and in the sport, and just to have everyone come together and own the horses, and it's just a fun journey.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
To the Dad Club. Nice segue. Jimmy, let's talk about some of your successes over the last 12 months as well. It's been a big 12 months coming in here to WEF once again. You had wins in Traverse City, wins in Upperville from that point of view. Some really good results here back in November as well. Chewbacca, we're just taking a look at here. But talk me through Cochillo and Chewbacca for you. You've got two really good horses to go to at the moment.
Yeah, I think I have two very good horses, totally different horses. This is a horse with a big jump, a lot of scope. Coach, my other horse is a very fast, very careful horse, very competitive in the ranking classes. I usually can count on him to win a ranking class during each show, which is nice. This horse, Chewbacca, is obviously the horse I'll ride in the qualifier tomorrow, and I'll hopefully jump him Saturday night. And again, looking forward to the 5-star in a couple of weeks ahead.
And how much are you relishing getting back into competition here? You've been building up nicely with those. I mean, again, we're talking about long-term relationship with both those horses.
Yeah, I've had Cocho since he was 7. The other horse I've had since he was 8. I'm getting a little older now, trying to turn the reins over to JJ. We've talked about maybe these horses being for him in the future. Obviously, he's got some horses of his own, which are very exciting. He's got a very exciting 7-year-old. So I can maybe hold on to these horses for just a little bit longer.
The good news is he's got a couple of years before he's allowed to jump FEI yet, because he's only 14 at this point. So you've got them for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's true. He can jump in National Grand Prix, but the FEI, a couple more years.
JJ, let's talk about Cochillo. What do you think about Cochillo? How are you looking forward to riding that one day?
Yeah, I'm excited until the day I get to show and ride that horse. I think he'll be a competitive horse in the classes I'll be doing at the time. I think high junior classes, he'll be deadly in that division, and hopefully when I get to the age in the 2-star and hopefully 3-star level. But yeah, I think he's a very competitive horse that would be nice to have.
And don't wish it away. Do lots of winning in between. Don't run too quickly with it. You've had a great run. Let's talk about Saturday night. We said we'd look at this one in a little bit more detail. We're going to look at your first round from Saturday night as well. Producing a good round there. Your feelings of getting into the early rail, unfortunately for you, from that. But how were you feeling about first time in front of the crowd?
Yeah, walking in, I know it was definitely a different experience than a Sunday afternoon high junior class. Yeah, after that first line, I kind of hit the jets a little bit, trying to be a fast 4. Yeah, I don't know, for sure it was exciting to be out there.
How did Vitus feel out there? Because you've already got a lot to contend with.
Yeah, no, actually I was surprised that I knocked the first jump down, because the rest of the way, obviously, he felt like, and he was jumping very well. So, I don't know, it was surprising, but from there, I was early to go, so I didn't really have much to lose. So, I was trying to be up there, hopefully a fast 4. And I kind of took a little bit of a cut here, and I turned back tight on this double, and I just ticked the front rail. But yeah, it was a good first experience under the lights.
You've got the taste for it now. I bet you want to get back in there, don't you?
Yeah,
for
sure.
How are you? Do you get nervous?
Sometimes for the big classes I do, but Saturday night I wasn't too nervous. I felt normal. I was fine. I felt like myself.
Do you get, what advice do you give him on that, Jimmy?
You know, I have to say that for the jumpers with him, I'm not really that nervous. He's pretty cool. He was cool as a cucumber that night. He was really at ease. I have a lot of confidence in him, even though he's quite young. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's a real talent. And, you know, I have to say I get more nervous when he's doing the equitation than I am when he's doing the jumpers.
Because I've seen the two of you out in the hunter rings as well. So you cover the bases.
Yeah, I mean, he's busy really everywhere. He's got several to ride in the hunter ring, in the jumper ring, in the equitation. So he's quite busy. But, you know, as I said, I'm very confident when he's on the jumpers.
Excellent. And Mum Danielle, I'm sure, is being a bit nervous on the sideline as well.
She's a little more nervous than I am. Saturday night, she was quite nervous, kept texting me, you know, how is he? Are you sure this is okay? But, you know, in the end, she deals with it okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've done World Cup finals. She's done World Cup finals. You were meant to do the job. It's fine. Jess, let's come back to Sunday.
Yeah.
Now this time, the WeatherTech Grand Prix from that point of view. Jumped to super clear in the first round. Went for it again in the second round with in the air as well. Well, let's take a little look at this. How did the success on the early part of the week back on Friday translate here?
Well, I knew going into the jump off she was going to be able to give it a go. This time Richie went in front of me, which kind of obviously he laid down a very fast round, and it kind of put a little bit of greed into me.
Yeah, because you jumped your way into jump going last.
Yes, yes. Whereas the last time I kind of went before him and some of the fast ones. So it was nice the first day to watch him go after me and not beat me. So then I thought, okay, I've got this, I can do it. But I took a little bit of a risk to the third jump there, and I actually growled at her to try and help. I thought I angled it too much. Yeah. I should have just left her alone and let her jump the jump, because I think she might have.
You're trying to encourage her.
Yeah, I don't know why I bothered. I should have just been like, please help. And
she's got this.
Yeah, she's got this.
She's got this. Absolutely. For you, you know, good success there. How excited are you for the season with her from that point of view? Because she looks really exciting.
Very. I mean, she's going to do the 4-star this week just so I can get under the lights for the 5 stars. I think I'll just see where she takes me. I think maybe championships in mind for her. I think she can go all the way, and hopefully she'll take me there.
Because you've been on European Championship team for the British before now. That was back in Aachen in 2015.
Yes.
There where I've got it for you.
I know. That was Aachen, I know that.
And again, that was very early in your career, because how old were you then? Doing very quick maths?
Not old.
Not that old. Not that old. Let's go with that.
Not that old. No, that was pretty incredible. I had a very special mare in Spirit Tea there, and it was pretty nice to be on the team with those boys. Just, you know, a lot of people to look up to and support as well. And yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and it's a big one for a European Championships there. So it was a lot to walk into, but again, it's all about the horses, I think.
And you were on reserve for Rio then as well?
I did then reserve for Rio, and I got the whole experience and the athlete village, and I was really a part of it, and that was pretty incredible.
Gave you the good taste for it?
Yes, exactly.
I will be back.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, let's say last year you were top 12 at the World Cup finals as well with ICAP from that point of view. It's been another move up, because those that don't know your background, originally from Great Britain, you spent some time based in the Netherlands at one point, and then you based out here in the US.
Yeah, so I've started in England, moved there. It's just a lot easier for the shows to be competing FEI as regularly, and then I came here, started my business here, and I've never left since. But no, it's nice to know I brought him up through the ranks, and he started at a lower level, and he's made it all the way up. I did take him on the grass last week, and he felt like a 4-year-old again. So he's not still a ready-made horse, but he's got a long way to go, but he's pretty special.
And how long have you been out here now?
I think since COVID.
So 2020.
I sort of stayed because of COVID, and then I was like, I guess I'll stay here now.
And it's done quite well for you.
Yes, yes.
I'm looking at the ring on your finger.
Yeah, got engaged. Horses are going great, so couldn't be happier right now.
Excellent. Nick De La Joya, of course.
Nick De La Joya.
Yeah, yeah. He's back at home. Feeling good.
Yes. She's a little sick,
he's
so
not
he's not
feeling great tonight.
No.
I know. Wishing you the best, Nick.
Yes.
Jess, so let's talk a little bit about that, because you had a lot of success early on in your career, and very, very different what we'll talk about here with the ponies from that point of view. We've got a few pictures of you competing right the way back, but I mean, you were sort of 9-10 at that point of view, jumping your 1-8 ponies. This would have been Horse of the Year show from that side of things.
Looks like Mosstown Action Man was an original pony before the 12-2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for you, you went on to be part of teams. You had a fantastic pony called Tixie Licks that took you to gold medals at the Pony European Championships from that side of things. Amazing career in that.
Yes.
What did it give you?
I mean, it gave me obviously huge confidence, but it's a very different program than here, because obviously here they do equitation,
There's you
which I
flying.
don't have if you look at my photo. But no, it's very different. Like there, you learn to go fast and, well, just fast, and obviously do all
Yeah.
the show jumps and be on team stuff early on and get in all the big rings. Here, you learn the equitation, how to ride correctly and properly, and I think finding a good mix of the two is very important. And yeah, I had great pony career, and that sort of led me straight into my horses, and my parents were huge supporters, so that helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been an incredible journey so far.
JJ, winner of the medal seat final last year. From that point of view, you had a big win equitation-wise in Traverse City last season too. Again, it gives you a great base to do these things. You obviously enjoy that, but again, this is your building base. How do you, which do you sort of get into? Now you're getting into jumpers and getting some speed in there. It's a nice combination to use.
Yeah, for sure. I think I like the jumpers the most. I like going fast. I like the jump offs, but I think the equitation is, at least being born here and living in America my entire life, I think it's kind of building for the bigger jumpers, and it teaches you the correct riding you need to jump the bigger jumps. And obviously I do the hunters as well.
Little that's from the National Horse Show from that point of view as well.
And I, when I was little, I started in the pony hunters, so I did that. I did the jumpers. I kind of done all of it for most of my junior career now, so I still have 4 more years, 3 now, so I'll keep dabbling in all 3 rings.
Jess, you had a lot of success very early on in your teens as well. Is there any piece of advice you'd be sort of passing on to JJ at that point of view, because you've been through it?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got it pretty good. He's doing pretty well. Maybe he could give me some advice. No, I mean, just keep going. I think team stuff is hugely important. I think there's an added pressure when you go into team events, and just to start that early and get that pink jacket, and the rest will come.
Absolutely. And for you, you're start looking forward, I'm sure, to, you won the Prix Juniors last year at the big championships in Traverse City as well, North American Youth Championships. Juniors are going to be on the horizon at some point. From that point of view, did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, for sure. It was a good team experience, even at a lower level than what Jess does. But for sure, I think it's a little bit of added pressure even at that scale. So I think it's good practice to go in the ring, and I think that's a good system kind of where you can go the 120, the 130, 140, 150 all up with your team, or maybe your team grows up with you. But I think it's a good experience overall.
Let's talk medal finals from that point of view. What was that whole experience like for you?
For sure, it was a long day. It was a little tiring.
Let's reflect on the happy part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the whole day was very exciting. This is actually a horse that we got from Jess's fiance, Nick. He found it, brought him over. Yeah, I don't know. He's been unreal since we've had him. We own him in partnership, like I said earlier, with Missy Clark and John Brennan. I train with them. He lives in their care. Yeah, he's a really special horse.
What were your emotions like during the day? Because this is a big thing for you.
Yeah, the entire day I don't really think I was, I mean, I was happy with my rounds, but I don't think I was relieved till the whole thing was over. So I think I was kind of still pretty tense and focused the whole way through.
Do you remember much? Because I know when you get into big events, people sort of come back to me and go, I barely remember it. It just all sort of happened. I was in the zone.
Yeah, I think I remember most of it at least. Yeah, for sure it was a long day. At the end of the day, we went to dinner and I fell asleep in the waiting room.
Jimmy, you know, you're obviously, it's the different challenges of your own son training, but like you say, you also bring in the North Run team there as well. So you're able to be together, but also bring in the external for a little bit of distance and different advice from that point of view. How does that all work? And you had, you know, what was your sort of very early success in your career?
You know, the same. We I came up through the pony ranks the same in junior hunters and junior jumpers, and I was, I had a very good junior jumper and a good junior hunter, and was horse of the year, and got to do same thing the Prix States. I didn't get to do the equitation at the level he's getting to do it. I think he's got a lot more opportunity than I have, and I'm going to make sure of that. But for sure, that was a tough day, and as you said, I've sort of helped him and trained him since the beginning, and when it came time for the big equitation, we put him with John and Missy for that. I think that's great to do it with the other kids and the lessons and the whole, I think equitation is its own animal, really. So, we picked John and Missy. We've been great friends for a number of years, and, I think that's a great way to go.
And for you, again, you get to pass on the advice. What advice do you give aside from the riding side when he's going the ring, or to anyone of that age?
With him, it's tough because he's my son. I've drilled him since the beginning on position and style, and I've always been, harped on him on that. But, I do think, even with someone that's not my kid, I think you've got to really think about, your position. All that carries over to the or carries over to the jumpers. Someone his size or someone my size is totally different. You're ahead of the motion. The top rail's going to come down. So I think that's a very important thing to think. We know when McLean recently has talked about how position and the American style is so important.
Well, we're actually going to throw it back a little bit because we've got some coverage from you from about 2001 here.
Oh wow!
And for those who don't recognise it, this is Wellington from that point of view. Do you remember much of this?
I do.
It doesn't look like Wellington, but it is, I can tell you.
There you are.
Now, this is a horse that I had named Candino that I bought from the Hendricks. There was a season here in Wellington where Gene Misch was running the shows, and we showed in polo shirts that year. You got to show in, I think it was white, blue, or red.
Yeah.
I think probably my style has gotten a little better over the years. I think back then I didn't think about it as much as I do now, which is why I've really harped on JJ. Even through his pony days, but it's kind of neat to watch. This was a grass field way back then, still very big jumps.
What advice would you give yourself now now you're watching this, and see if I could chat to him now, what would I tell him?
Well, I think I was a little heavier back then, so I think fitness is very, very important. And again, I think position, style, it's so important. I was probably a little sloppier back then than I am now, but I think I think about it a lot more now. Back then, as I do now, I did it more on my own, but I think now I bounce ideas off of some of my close friends, McLean, Rodrigo, so I think back then I did it really more on my own.
How much mentally different do you think you are now to then?
I think I was a lot younger, as you say, back then. I don't think nerves played a part as much back then. I think now, getting a little older, trying to keep up with these young kids. Even Jess, she's a young kid compared to myself. So, I think, fitness is a big thing. I try to, stay as fit as I can and as alert as I can because, I want to go out there and have fun, but I still want to be competitive.
Excellent. Well, the keys are get the basics right and stay fit. That's where we're going with this.
Absolutely.
We've got some questions in for you from viewers as well. Jessica, we're going to start with you. We'll take a look at the first of questions for you, which looks like this, and it is: what was your first big accomplishment in riding, and at what age? A little going back to what we were just talking about.
Specifically on the age, I'm not sure. I think kind of one of my best results in general was pony European gold medals. Team, I never got an individual. I got some individual seconds and thirds, but I think team gold medals on the ponies would kind of be the big one.
That was 2012.
Okay.
I can tell you that. Let's take a look at your second question there. Now, what have we got for you as your second question? What's your very first memory you have with a pony? There were probably some of those pictures of like your 128s and things there.
I would say I think I did the lead line at Hickstead.
Yeah.
Bit of a memory with wetting the saddle when I was very young, so that was that one stuck.
Nothing like an embarrassing situation to
like
leave
that.
it.
Not on my saddle or my horse, so pony, so that made it worse. I guess lead line, kind of when I was younger, I kind of have memories of me being led around like Hickstead and Horse of the Year show, and
Yeah.
that would be my first memories that I
Yeah,
can think
great
of.
support from you. And all of it is great support from parents and family
Yes,
around
no,
to
my
do that.
parents have been there the entire time. Even still now, my dad's sat at home. Probably both of my parents are watching this
Yeah.
at home. So they're huge supporters, and they watch every round I do, and they love it.
Excellent. Third and final question for you is a fairly straightforward one. Goals for this year, goals for 2025.
I think I'd like to do a championships.
Yeah.
On any of the horses,
Yeah.
but right now it could be the black one.
It's
in the
European
air.
Championships this year.
Yes, could be her,
back at home.
or even ICAP. I mean, they're both great horses, so whoever does the best and
Excellent.
wants to go will. And if I get selected, so I think a championships is my goal, and a few Nations Cups maybe in Europe, and team stuff.
See you in Spain in July.
Yes. Exactly.
Excellent. Good. Okay, JJ, we had lots of questions for you, but we've narrowed it down. From that point of view, how do you balance school and riding? Tell me a little about school as well. You're at King's School?
Yeah. Now it gets busy during this time of year. I'm busy riding a lot during WEF. I have a lot of lessons, but yeah, the days that I have to miss, I don't go to school on Fridays now. I mean, every once in a while I will if I don't have to be at the show. But
What do you enjoy at school?
lunch.
Like all great sportsmen,
Yeah.
says, "Can you get me out of here?"
He's being very modest. He's a straight A student.
I know he is. I know he is. JJ, let's throw your next question. So this was put tips for jumper seat equitation. Equitation tips from JJ.
I think a lot of practice and repetition for sure. All year, I've had countless lessons with the North Run, all the kids, big group lessons. I think that's also a good thing to be in the groups with all the kids. I think watching the big jumpers. I watch all the shows in Europe.
You've got a prime seat here.
I watch a lot of shows all around the world, so I think a lot of practice and for sure watching helps a lot, I think.
Who do you like watching?
I think McLean is a good example of the equitation position that people are looking for.
Excellent. Very good example. Okay, let's give you your final question. It's a little bit related to training as well. How often do you have no stirrup lessons? I know you've had them in the past. Were they a big part of everything?
On ponies, when I was younger, I kind of, not really lessons, I had a couple, but I kind of just did it for fun. Now, I don't do it as much. I have more flatting no stirrup lessons than jumping lessons. I have them jumping lessons without stirrups every once in a while, but more flatting lessons with North Run.
And what does it teach you?
For sure to stay tight. I think that's also a big part and key to jumping the big jumps, because you don't really want your leg flying around and getting jumped out of the tack. But yeah, I think already at a couple finals this year, and the theme throughout the finals was no stirrups, so I think lessening and practicing can help you tighten up your leg looking to do the big jumpers.
Excellent. Okay, you're off the hook now. Jimmy, you're back. You're on the hook now from that point. You would have done. Did you do sort of some of the bareback classes they did back in the day as well?
I did. Back in the, we had ride a buck.
Yeah.
We had a lot of those classes. You know, we had some all breed shows, so we had a lot of fun gymkhana type classes when I was growing up.
Excellent. Bring it back. What was it like for you when JJ won the medal final? We saw some great photos of you guys, but what was it
tough.
like?
That was a.
You and Danielle, actually.
Yeah,
let's just not just focus on Dad here.
That was a tough day for both of us. You know, obviously, I have to say we set some goals sort of the beginning of the year and midsummer, and I have to say that was one of our goals. We had that, young riders, a couple things in our plans, sort of most of the things we had in our goals came to fruition, which was nice. But it was a tough day. You know, the first round, you know, as the round was going and it's falling into place and it's falling into place, it was a very, very nerve-wracking. There was a woman sitting next to me who I don't know, and I was grabbing onto her sweater and yanking and pulling. You know, that day I was a parent. I stayed in the stands. I didn't go down to the schooling year at all. But, you know, for sure, a very exciting day. I think the last round, as JJ said, riding without stirrups. When he came in, he rode around there looking like he had stirrups. And I think it was pretty clear the way he did the test that he was the winner. So it was, you know, we were relieved at that point.
Excellent.
But tough day.
Tough day. You'll have more tough days in a good way. Fingers crossed. From that point of view. Let's take a look at your second question, and this is a very in-depth one from that point of view. Who falls off more, Jimmy or JJ? Who stays in the seat?
Well, you know, I don't want to jinx myself going into this week and a qualifier tomorrow, but you know, I think
You don't have to answer
I think in general in this sport, I don't think we fall off as much as people think we do. For sure, everyone falls off, but you know, I think we have the occasional fall, but I don't think either one of us comes off that much.
You're not counting. Let's take a look at your final question. And Jimmy, a sort of similar question from you talking about the mental side. When you show, as they put it in the big stuff, how do you control your emotions from that side of things?
You know, that's tough. I think we all get what I call butterflies in your stomach. I think the day that I don't get them will probably be the day I need to hang up my boots. I think we're all a little nervous, a little, you know, anxious before a big class. And, you know, I think once you get on the horse, it disappears. You know, I think it's all leading up to it, walking the course, you know, talking to other riders and their plans. But I think once you get on the horse, you sort of focus on what you're doing. And, you know, I think everything sort of falls into place.
Excellent. It remains for me to say thank you to all three of you. It's been a chilly evening, but thank you very much for coming. I'll let you escape and get back and get warmed up. Fingers crossed for the rest of the week that it's going to be a bit warmer from that point of view. Jess, what are the aims this week?
Same again, but twice. Try win it twice.
Okay, perfect. JJ, big week ahead?
Normal, I think. I have a couple of jumpers, so I just want to stay consistent and all that.
Excellent. Good luck to you. Jimmy, you've got a big week ahead, I think?
Yeah, the same. You know, Jess and I both have the 4-star. We want to, you know, obviously do well in the WEF and then qualify for Saturday night and, you know, hopefully be on the podium.
Friends right now, but thank you to all three of you. Let's just reflect on what's coming up this week as well here in Wellington too, because as ever, it is a busy week. WEF 3 at its puts NetJets week. And includes, of course, the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup here on Thursday as well. Tune in for that. That's going to be on our live stream as well. Also includes 2-star this week as well. We've stepped it up, and that is going to include the qualifiers into the early part of the week here as well. Through Thursday and Friday, you can be following those. Also, Dressage World Cup, the next of our World Cups, and US Equestrian Open Qualifier here on Friday night as well. You can follow the live streaming of that too, or head into the stadium. It will be warmer by then, I promise. And then also into the weekend, we have the big NetJets Grand Prix, and that is a fantastic Grand Prix, $215,000. And I can tell you, we've had the likes of Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward jumping here today, Christian Kukuk and Checker. We have had some of the biggest combinations in the world have been schooling away, jumping in some of the smaller classes in the FEI this week, getting ready. So I'm going to be really interested to see how that plays out this week. So tune in for that on Saturday night as well. Sunday sees us with the MS 150 Classic once again, and it's been a classic run in those classes so far. And also with the 2-star Grand Prix with the Florida Coast Equipment Grand Prix here on Sunday as well. All of that continued coverage, I look forward to that. Of course, bringing you everything from the Hunter Rings and from dressage. And as JJ said, there's lots going on in all the other rings here as well. You can follow all of that and keep up with the results of how everyone is getting on. Come and join us right the way throughout. All can be watched on wellingtoninternational.com and the USCF network as well. You can follow all of that through. Remains to say thank you to all of my guests and to say thank you to all of our supporters throughout here at the Winter Equestrian Festival here in Wellington, as well as say all parts of NetJets Week as well. You join all the action here in the International Ring, brought to you by US Equestrian as well, and on the live stream, part support from the US Equestrian Federation and USCF network as well. Dodd Technologies are sponsors of our live stream as well, an industry leader in creative design and technology. Their support services for sports, entertainment, corporate and special events as well. Visit us online at doddtechnologies.com as well. And NetJets, of course, the worldwide leader in private aviation, offering an in-flight experience that is precisely yours. Every aspect of your imagination is anticipated as well, and every detail of your journey is curated, all while NetJets prioritizes your safety and comfort. The result, absolute peace of mind and luxury. Your moments become even more remarkable as soon as you step aboard. Find your ideal travel solution at netjets.com. Thank you to them. Great supporters in the sport. We are jetting off, hopefully to a warmer few days ahead of us, and we look forward to joining you here in Wellington. That's it from this week's WEF Weekly. Thank you. You can escape the barbecue.